Hey there and happy Friday. So I was trying to think what I should show you guys today to do card number 4 out of the 10 for the month of March. And it kept going back to the same color combination as yesterday. Lots of like blues and whites and browns or neutrals, but always coming up with something similar. And I'm like, well, it's going to look too much like yesterday's card, even though a lot of you really liked yesterday's card. So I wanted to totally switch gears and find something bright and colorful. And it's freezing here today. If you've been outside at all here and live by me, it is just like a cruel joke for March to be this cold. Hi there, Joyce. Hi, Sharon. And so I think that's why I came up with something like bright, sunny, and cheerful. Hi, Julie. And with that, I thought it's time to show the Ladybug bundle again. And today I'm using a different Ladybug. In the past, I've used the punch to make the Ladybug come together and such. And so today I'm just stamping the Ladybug, but it's another cute way to have a Ladybug, and it's part of the stamp set, which I haven't used that those stamped images yet. So hi, Patricia from Switzerland. How fun that you can catch live with the time difference. I always appreciate seeing your name pop up too here. I'm just gonna see if my iPad is, yes, caught up, so I can put that down, and if you have comments or questions, ask away. So let me get my camera down on my workstation here and adjusted there. And here is today's card. And I'm going to show you how I made these leaves here in a little bit. That was kind of fun. But yeah, I just loved the pop once I got it going. So my college son is home for the week, and he helped me with some details. It's like just things weren't looking the way I wanted it to. And I'll show you some other pieces that were part of the card in the very beginning and what didn't quite make the cut and such. Let me grab a sip here of water. Okay, so hi Connie, good to have you on here. Thanks, Brenda. Yeah, so it's cold in Iowa too, because Brenda's like, happy cold afternoon, and I feel like it is frozen tundra. Okay, so in the mini catalog, here is on page 20 that bundle, and I thought, oh, it'd be so fun to use this leaf today and make that be a background. I kind of liked how they take the flower here and make a background out of that, or even those. So I'm like, you know what, this leaf, well, the leaf is like, after I started stamping out, I thought, man, that's really big. So here's my background that I started with, and I still like this idea, but I was trying to actually have that be the background of this card. And it's just like, then because these were so big, I was losing this in translation or something. And then the cute little ladybug was just like, yeah, nothing was really happening, and I couldn't get anything to really pop on it at all. But yeah, it's a really fun leaf there. And these are the other two things. And then if you look that I'm actually using today, and if you see these like little tiny pieces here, that is here and here, those little pieces. And if you watch my videos before, I sometimes say those are my favorite parts of cards sometimes, are the little accessories that just add extra color, because the leaves alone, they were okay, but it's just adding those other things that make it all look like kind of like background paper, like I made my own background paper. So that is where that comes from. And then for the inside, I'll just show you a sneak peek so I can tell you where that's from too. I like the font of this happy birthday. This is going to be a birthday card, just because the Hello Ladybug stamp set, may your greatest wish come true. Well, it just kind of made it sound like it should be a birthday card. And but yet, I don't know. I grew up with 6 siblings. I'm the youngest of 7, and I don't know if many of you know that, but I'm thinking this might be a perfect card to send to my siblings. May your greatest wish come true, and then in the inside, you can bug me anytime. It just seems like the little ones, in my opinion, they got picked on all the time. But anyway, I thought that could kind of go with that in a funny way. But otherwise, otherwise, like may your greatest wish come true usually isn't to bug somebody, but it's like to wish them happy birthday. But I thought my siblings would get a kick out of that. We've all got a great sense of humor. But the happy birthday from the inside is from a grandkid. And if you're a grandparent, I've got 2 lovely grandkids, so I thought this is good. But just even the plain happy birthday here is what we're going to use out of a grandkid. I love this stamp set, and a lot of you have it and always say, oh, I wish you would show that more so I know that I'm using it the right way. I feel like I'm using it kind of boring today just because happy birthday is pretty plain and simple. But this is my color combination. Thank you, Kay. So lots of bright colors here, blacks, whites, reds, granny apple green, daffodil delight, and all of that. And so that's what's going to come together. So you kind of have like some primaries and some neutrals to make it all happen. What I think I want to do first is take this piece of red cardstock here. Let me kind of rearrange my cardstock so I don't get it lost in the shuffle here. I'm going to take this piece that's cut 4 by 5 1/4, and today I'm going to use the Ornate Floral 3D embossing folder, and this has tiny little flowers. At first when I was putting this card together, I just did plain red, and I really thought, okay, this is coming together finally. I needed more color instead of pattern, and yet I thought if I could squeeze in a fun embossing folder just to make it not look so plain, and with these being kind of smaller little flowers, I thought, oh, that's just like perfect because it kind of offsets the big flowers. So that's the one I'm using. With it being a 3D folder, then I'm just using my large cutting pad number 1, whoops, and my cutting plate, that gray one, which is number 4. So I'm just gonna quick wind that through, and with it being 3D, you get a nice I don't want to say gouge of pattern, but it's a very deep pattern, which is nice. That's why I really like the 3D embossing folders. Okay, so I'll set that aside. Hi there, Fran. And actually, I think we're going to be done maybe cutting here. Well, no, I'm going to do one more thing. I had to think when would be a good time to cut out that one circle for now. What I'm going to do is just take this little piece of basic white. It's just almost like a little scratch piece. And my circle here comes from the Layering Circles dies here. And there's a lot of circles in here. And I was going to use just a plain circle, but then when I saw this tiny little one that had like a little scalloped edge, and it's almost like a little ruffled edge because it's such a tiny circle that by the time they get the scallops in there, it just kind of looks like a little bit of a ruffle to it. So I'm going to put this through. Usually I stamp first and then try to line it up, but because it's a tight fit, I didn't know if I would end up cutting off part of my sentiment where this die goes. And so I thought, you know what, we'll just kind of do it the opposite way if I explain why, since I almost always say, you know, stamp first, then punch, stamp first, then cut it out. So let me grab my Stampin' Pierce mat because I'm going to be stamping now with a photopolymer stamp set, the Hello Ladybug. Hi, Lois. And with my Memento Black, may your greatest wish come true. Going to squeeze that on that tiny little circle, and it does work. There we go. So that's why, I mean, it's such a tight fit. That's why I decided I wouldn't probably attempt this with that, smaller air margin of error. There we go. If it wasn't a photopolymer stamp set. And that's why I thought, yeah, if I stamp this first and tried to put the die on top, I wouldn't know if I may be getting some of those edges cut off. So that works out perfect when I do it that way. And then next I'm going to stamp out my Ladybug right away with the black ink pad. So this little guy, he just looks like he's a character, like a fun little ladybug that looks like they're always happy. I wish I could say that about myself every day. Most days I'm happy, but it's like this little ladybug looks like it's happy every day, like has something to look forward to and is just loving life. Like how cute is that ladybug right there? Okay, and then to fill it in, I was almost thinking that I would need to get out my blends, but it's just a matter of opening up my Real Red ink pad here. And I can take this little piece, which is the body, and it kind of leaves a little notch out for the head and all those little black dots. So I can just ink this up and center it kind of right over top. We'll see how close I get. There we go. And I feel like I'm off just a little bit, but I think that sometimes adds a little bit of character to it just to have it look like that. So I'm not worried about that at all. In fact, like this one on my sample, you can see there's just a little bit. And sometimes I think Stampin' Up's artwork is designed to be not 100% like right on because of that either. So they want to add a little bit of artistic like character to it. Okay, so now I'm going to build the flower and work with this little May Your Greatest Wish Come True. Hi, Marilyn. Let me move my ink pad cover so I don't accidentally drop something on it and get a black spot on there. So I'm going to take the daisy punch. This is the regular size daisy punch. There's a smaller one. I think it's called medium. Yeah, medium is the smaller one. So this is the regular size, the largest one that we have in the annual catalog. And I'm just going to take and punch out this a couple times. Daffodil Delight cardstock here. And a lot of times I just like will cut 2.75 inch strips of cardstock, and then I can get probably about 4 of these on there. And now to kind of build this up, I'm going to take the mini glue dot here and press that in there so that we have one on the back side. And then I'll just take this and kind of go every other here leaf and make sure that it's kind of centered, and then I'll press it down in the middle. And this I want to pop up, so I'm going to grab a dimensional here and just pop that up in the center just to give that a little lift. So already it's coming together pretty quick, and I think it just makes it kind of cute. This would be like, I could see some little kid pinning this on their shirt, like on their day of their birthday or something, just a little something that would be fun for somebody a little younger. And now to add some leaves, I have a fun tip that I can show you. So today I'm not using this part of the ladybug to punch out any ladybugs because I just stamped it there. But what I'm going to do, what's traditionally, I'm trying to get the glare off for you guys, what's traditionally the wings that go with the ladybug here, I'm going to punch these wings out, and those are going to be my leaves for my flower here. So normally these would be the wings for the ladybug, and today they're going to be leaves. Hi there, Joy. Good to have you on here. I'm just going to take and give that a little snip here, and some of you are going, who knew you could take ladybug wings and make them into leaves? So I'm just going to take and put a glue dot on here, and I'm just going to kind of set that behind some of the leaves. The reason I cut it apart, if I didn't cut it apart, here's one that's still together. Like if I put it in there where I can get it, then it kind of fades too much into the flower, and this way I can get it popped out a little bit more. So that's why I did that. And then let me just grab another glue dot here. I'll press that into my cardstock, and then it'll pop off on there, and I'll do that same thing. Whoops. Want to make sure that I'm here. Hold on. I don't want where I cut it to show like that squared off edge, and if it's if it's too far out, then there's air showing there, and I don't want that either. Okay, there we go. Finally. Thought that'd be the easiest part of the card, but I kept seeing like daylight there, and I'm like, I do not want that. Okay, so I've got that, and let's see, before I get into building this too much, I'm going to add a little character to my character of this ladybug here, and something that I haven't used for a while, and I thought, oh, this will be fun to just give him him a little pizzazz. So I thought, let's get out the Stitched with Whimsy dies. And if you guys have these, you'll be like, oh yeah, I need some ideas to go with my Stitched with Whimsy dies. So I feel like in the past, I've always used, you know, like all of these. I've never, as far as I can remember, use the one that's more like rectangular, straight across there. And this is like the perfect size. It's almost like it's meant to be used with the Ladybug because it really fits that size really well. And with that, I'm just gonna get out my cut and emboss machine here, and I'll lay that out. So I cut this 1.5 by 2.75, and I just like a closer fit when I'm working with the Whimsy, because the Whimsy just adds that stitched look to it. It doesn't do any cutting here, so we've just got that fun stitched look, which kind of makes it like go together. Thanks, Marilyn. Okay, so I think that's it for my cut and emboss machine. So now the rest is putting it all together here. So I just have this little strip of black paper with the white polka dots. And to let you know, that comes from that pattern party paper that I always am pulling out from the back of the annual catalog for hostesses. And like I said, doesn't mean that you have to be a hostess. If you have a larger order and want that to be your rewards, you can do it that way too. But it's got so many pages of paper, like 48. And I thought this is perfect because I just wanted something that had a mostly black, but a little bit of color added to it. So that's what that is. So I cut this 1 inch by 5 1/4, and I wanted a thicker matting on what I was going to place it on. Whoops, and I want it to be not crooked. Let's see if I can pull that up. There we go. So my piece of black cardstock here is 1.5 inches by 5 1/4. There we go. So it's a little bit thicker on each side than what I normally measure out. Hi there, Carol. It's the weekend. And so I'm just going to put some adhesive on here and then attach this to that embossed paper here. That's 4 by 5 1/4. So everything is 5 1/4, 5 1/4, 5 1/4. You're seeing how that comes together. And now this is ready to go on some basic black cardstock that's going to be the actual card base. Oh, this is good to show you guys. I want you to know that this doesn't just happen to you. I know sometimes this happens to some people where they are putting down their adhesive. And if you have embossed a piece, especially if it's like a 3D embossed piece and it might want to pull up, sometimes what people have done is they kind of I know that I'm going to leave this much, like that 1/4 inch all around, but it's safe to say that, oops, there we go, I have to get this going again. It's safe to say that I am not going to be going past like these lines. So some people will actually put their adhesive, that's not a great job, on here so that they never have to worry about their adhesive kind of winding back up on that. So yeah, it doesn't happen to me often. Sometimes I think I'm just a little too heavy when I'm pushing it, and that makes it want to wrap up. But if you have the adhesive down and you're just pressing this onto it, well then that kind of just takes care of the problem right there. So I'm actually really liking this. I am a big fan of having black and red together. How much I feel like I've been using black a lot lately, and that sounds dark or morbid, but I feel like I'm always using black to make everything else pop, so it's not a bad thing. And then like with this, I'm using the black to make my Ladybug pop. So this piece is cut 1.75 by 3 inches, and I'm going to take some dimensionals here and just pop this piece up on top. I'm going to get just taped on straight here. I didn't want it to get too fluffy down there, since I actually have the Ladybug popped up like so. So I'm just gonna put that so the black is lined up right where the red stops, kind of there. So there we go. Okay, says that I'm freezing up. It could be today's weather. I was wondering if I might have problems with my video because I've been having problems with my internet, even though my phone doesn't use our internet. But it's super windy here, so I feel like anytime that happens, I'm going to have like issues with my internet. I don't know why the wind does such a number on that where we live, but the joys of living out in rural Minnesota. Okay, so now I'm ready to accessorize. So we've got that little guy being the highlight. So for accessories, oh, actually, before I forget, this is the one thing too that I wanted to add. When my son Drake was trying to show me, like, he's like, Mom, I think your ladybug piece needs to be smaller. So his, before he left today, this was his little piece that he thought would be perfect, just a little piece over there. And we decided that was good. And what really helped, he thought, Mom, that's really cool how you added that gray. I said, yep, it kind of grounds whatever, if it's an animal or a bird, or like in this case, a cute little insect, just adding the light smoky slate, just kind of scribbling it underneath there. Now all of a sudden it just looks like my ladybug is walking on something versus just kind of plopped there, and that makes all the difference. Okay, so for accessories though, that to me that's kind of an accessory, but I'm gonna pull out my matte black dots. This just needed some more black to make everything else kind of come together. So I'm going to use one of the larger ones here, and then a couple of the smaller ones. I love both of these sizes. I feel like I'm always going back and forth, and I just ordered a couple more packages of these, and so that should last me a week, right? I go through so many accessories. Okay, so just adding that just kind of fills up, because I thought there was just a little too much red space, and even though I'm still doing not anything with this besides that embossed layer there, just adding that really makes things come together. So may your greatest wish come true. And then I'm just going to pull out for my inside piece here. Like I said, that happy birthday from the stamp set, A Grand Kid. I just thought just kind of had a nice fun font for this. And I could have done this in red, but I just chose black because I did a lot with the black. Actually, that looks kind of like smeared. I don't know how I did that. Let's flip it over. Showing you always that there's two sides of cardstock, always, from Stampin' Up. They're so special. So hopefully I don't touch anything that's going to give a little bit of a black smear there. Yeah, I don't know what that was from, but glad I caught it before I taped it down into somebody's card, because somebody's going to get this card. There's a little piece of cardstock fuzz. Okay, and then that's going to go on the inside like this, and then I'm just going to leave it just like so. So we have this and we have that. So may your greatest wish come true, and happy birthday. So a lot of people love ladybugs, so this will be perfect for people that love ladybugs in your life. And I just think it's such a cheerful little ladybug that that's kind of what makes it kind of fun. So we're on March Stamp Camp card number 4 already. I thought, man, if I even get 3 cards done for you guys this week in between cooking for my college son that's home, I thought it'll be a miracle. So to think that I am on card number 4, I'm kind of like actually pumped for myself that I could do that. And how you can get my set of 10 cards, even though I'm only on card number 4, is order a minimum $75 using the specific host code, and I'll post that again with all the details with the still shot of today's card. And if you get to 150, sometimes people do that and they'll be like, I don't know why there's no spot in my cart now to add that host code. And that is because once you start to redeem your rewards yourself, which is totally fine. Like some of you might go, I want that pattern party black and white paper that she just used. Once you redeem host rewards, then the host code disappears and you don't even have the option to add that. So if you're placing a larger order, then you have to choose, do I want Belle's cards? Do I want host rewards? I don't know what like would be fun for you. So that's why I let you choose. And if I'm placing an order and helping you with that, once we get to that level, I will ask you too, do you want my cards or do you want the host rewards? So I hope that nobody ever feels put on the spot, because it doesn't matter to me. I want you to have what you want. But just know that a couple times lately people have said, I don't see where to add that host code. And then I sometimes forget about that disappearing. So I'll kind of say, hey, since I can't see your screen, where are you at? Like for amounts, and that's usually the problem that way. But if you just want my cards, some people have ordered and got the host rewards, and then they'll say, you know what, I want your cards anyway, and they'll pay me $25 for the set of 10, and that's how you can get the set of 10 in a different way too. So have a great weekend, and I should be back on Monday. So and maybe I'll be making another blue card, because like that's now, after yesterday's card, that's all that's in my head, as I'm seeing all these nature things, and I want to do blues and browns and all that kind of fun stuff. So like I said, I have lots of ideas. It's just narrowing it down so that every day doesn't tend to look like the same card I'm doing over and over with the same color combination or something too. I want to give you guys lots of variety and lots of inspiration. So have a great weekend. See you Monday. Bye-bye.